Infinity Log, Galaxy date 3008.1. Captain Cornelius Butt, entry number 1736. We are now on the last leg of our 7-year mission. We're en route to traffic station number 28, where we are to police the transgalactic corridor. Joy and yummies. The Infinity is on auto control with Galaxina, prime-grade robot class number 11 on the bridge. All traffic sensors are on operational red alert. All primary ship's functions are operational green. The crew, if you can call them that, is on its 72-hour rest period. This is Captain Cornelius Butt. That's enough.
This is the emergency podcast system. This is not a test. Movies are bombing all over the country. They are posing as movies you already know. They may already be in your theaters, your neighbor's home, or even your own. Do not panic. Specialists have been dispatched. They will help you identify these pretenders and defend you against this invasion of the remake. Please stand by for further instructions.
Welcome to the Invasion of the Remake podcast. I'm your host, Jason Bishop, and of course with me today is Trish Coughlin. And for the birthday boy, technically it's already a couple weeks after, but this is Sam's birthday pick.
I am so sorry.
You should be.
Now, to be fair, my first birthday pick, we none of us were able to really find a copy that we
It would have been amazing.
Legally, right?
Yeah, it might have been more fun, but at the same time, it starred Oscar-winning actor Peter O'Toole, and I was a little worried that this was going to be another One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but we couldn't find it. Didn't happen. Maybe down the road we will do it if we can get our hands on a proper copy, but we couldn't find it on any streaming system or even iTunes.
I just really wish that we'd been able to find it, because I think it would have been a great way to start off the year with a movie of that title.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It would have brought some good energy into 2019, because 2018 hasn't been great for some of us.
So, for most of humanity, it's
fine. And hey, by the way, if I hadn't mentioned it, Happy freaking New Year, guys.
Yay!
It was our first full episode of Invasion of the Remake in January. And last week, of course, was our cult movie A-Go-Go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please let us know in all our social media places, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, if you're over there somehow, even YouTube. Leave it in the comments there or email us, and just let us know if you want to hear more of that. I might make that a yearly tradition if you kind of dug it. So
nice.
I certainly had fun digging up those trailers. So.
You went on a tear. It was
I
good.
did go on a tear. It was like 2 weeks of research and just I figure I watch at least 8 hours worth of just movie trailers. And to find the ones that were audio worthy.
Yeah, I could just see. I actually had this vision in my head of you sitting here in your living room, giggling to yourself as you watch some of these trailers, going, "Oh yes, this is the one."
Yes, or else looking at it like, "Oh, if only it had more for audio."
Well, and there were some of those that was just like, that doesn't sound too good, and then I'd hit ones that I thought were, didn't age well in a sensitive era that we're in right now. So I thought I'd just leave those on the back burner when everybody's got their heads out of their asses and can just live in the moment like, yes, this was the 70s or the 60s and they were kind of douchebags.
In some instances, not kind of.
I tried to leave the really racist stuff on the cutting room floor for a while, because there were sometimes they're like, ooh, that's a good trailer, but you used the N-word. No. And I mean, that was a thing in the 70s, and I really liked the trailers, but the fact that they were, even I was just like, that was too cringeworthy for me. So those I'll probably never use, but or if I do, I might actually for the first time bleep something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But if you guys dug that last week, trust me, there's still tons more out there. I still have 2 full discs of stuff I haven't looked at yet, let alone
Wow.
the stuff that's floating around in my brain. So I've definitely got enough material for at least one more.
One more
Nice.
episode.
Probably 5 more, but
Oh, wow.
so, if they want to make that a yearly tradition, I'm more than happy to do so. But yeah, we hope you all had a great holiday season. We certainly did as well. We spent some time together on New Year's Eve, so that was a lot of fun. And today we're going to do something it's just awful. It was, how we look for something with a nugget of a good idea.
This wasn't it.
We're grabbing for like grains of sand here, like individual grains of sand, and it's not like a beach of sand because that's says there's a lot. There's just
It's the stuff in your crack after being at the beach. That's what we're reaching for.
And accidentally fell on the floor before the stuff you washed off in the shower. So it's just little bits of stuff hanging around.
Oh, man.
Sam, how did you feel about this movie?
Oh,
Your birthday pick.
yes. Well, I'm mad because it wasn't my birthday pick. It was my seat of the
Backup
pants
birthday
back. It wasn't even a backup plan. I was like, okay, what if we can't find our movie? What am I going to do? So I just went looking through. And I'm like, oh, we have a lot of fun with 80s sci-fi. Let's do this, and that's what we ended up with.
It's true. In a way, I was thinking about like a few weeks ago when we did Santa Conquers the Martians, where it's so bad it's good.
This wasn't it.
Which I'm not even sure if Trish will agree with that. This one's just so bad it's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's
bad.
it's so bad that it passed good to just continue on to being bad.
Well,
Now, to be fair, the stuff they did with the color filters in the last half of the film, I really liked that.
I liked that. I was going to say I wanted to keep that.
It reminded me a lot of Mandy, that kind of stuff. There.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but
And that's all I'm saying about it then.
Nice.
we were talking about it, and you're like, "This is so bad. This is so bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, but they do some interesting color filter stuff in the last in the last half of the film." And I made a point of saying, "There's no axe. There are no acts in this movie."
Oh,
No. The whole time I was just kind of waiting for a plot to form. Nope.
I was desperately looking for one.
It was just like loose ideas. And you remember when we talked about Jared Sin just a few weeks earlier, and Jared Sin was deliberately drawing stuff out just to make the movie longer? This one does that a lot.
That's all this movie is.
It's just one. I literally think they had maybe 20 pages.
The end scene.
Yeah.
They had the end scene. That's
Yeah.
all they had.
Well, just in part of my investigation, I guess it was like 20 days to shoot this, but there was weather problems on the set, so they lost a couple of days of shooting. And that's what the director blames it on. He's like, "Oh, if I'd had those 2 days, it would have been a much faster paced movie." I'm like, "You can't make that up in 2 days, dude."
No, there is no way.
There's no way 2 days of
No.
material was going to save this movie.
No.
You needed another 20 days.
Minimum.
And a new writer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the writing in this.
Well, I mean, it is the same guy. It's written and directed by William Sachs, who did such luminary classics as Spooky House, The Incredible Melting Man, and South Hell Mountain.
Yeah, not a single one of them have I
No.
ever heard of.
No, me neither.
But the idea of Spooky House, just if you can, I don't even want to know what that movie's about. I just want to remake it just with that title.
That would be a fun episode to do, actually.
Let's do it. It's
Just
called
do a
Spooky
remake
House.
based on a title.
Oh yeah, hey, that's not a bad idea.
Yay.
We've not seen this movie. We have no idea what it's about. We're going to remake it anyway.
Yes.
I think we should do that sometime in the new year.
Maybe we will.
Awesome.
Maybe
that could
for
be fun.
April.
Perfect.
Let us know if you want us to try it.
I
Yeah.
don't know. That might be a good idea.
Awesome.
Find a really crazy title, and Spooky House might be one of them. I don't know.
You showed me some weird titles too. Like, I swear to God, some of the ones you gave me, especially for the trailer thing, I'm like, was it a random word generator that created this title?
One of those things you see on Facebook.
In the case of the trauma ones, that's kind of what I did. I would just I looked through the library to find the most insane thing I could find.
Yes.
And I'm like, please have a good trailer, please have a good trailer, please have a good trailer. And boy, did they deliver. So we started that one with the trauma and ended with the trauma.
Unlike the Jared Sin one, the title is very indicative of the actual film.
Okay, this movie stars, and I use the word loosely,
I know.
I almost feel like this was a prison punishment.
It's
Work release.
Why? It's funny because there's some recognizable actors in here. You've seen them before.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Stephen Mocht, who played Sergeant Thor, Avery Schreiber, you've seen him in stuff. You don't remember what, but you've seen him in stuff.
You've seen,
Captain Cornelius Butt.
Corny butt.
Corny Butt, yeah. J.D. Hinton was Buzz, the dumb hick pilot. Actually, he wasn't a pilot. He just hung out in a chair.
He was a private.
He was a private.
He was a private.
Yeah.
Dorothy Stratton, who had been in the TV series Buck Rogers, Canadian model actress, Playmate of the Year in 1980, and unfortunately, this was her final film just months prior to her death at only 20.
Her murder.
Yeah, it was her starring. It was her starring role. It wasn't her final film. There was one post.
Oh, there was one
from Peter Bogdanovich because she was dating him at the time of her death.
But several movies, TV, and to the big screen, songs have been written about Dorothy Stratton. She's kind of become a cult figure because of the tragedy. And yeah, it's this career that never actually happened.
Yeah, because she showed so much potential. Like, because even in this movie, she is the shining star of this movie. When she finally gets some dialogue, she's actually quite good.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was just watching her, even when she has no dialogue, I was watching him like going, Dorothy Stratton is in a much more serious version of this movie, and she's nailing it.
Yes, she handles her performance with just body movement and stuff like that so well.
Yeah.
Considering she's playing a fucking robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best part of the whole film is
Well,
her.
that outfit was so tight, she probably couldn't move any other way.
Probably.
Lionel Mark Smith was also in this. He played Maurice. Tad Horino was Sam Woe.
Whoa.
Ronald Knight was Ordric, and Percy Rodriguez was his voice. So it was two guys.
A Darth Vader scenario.
Yes. Yeah. And Aesop Aquarian, I just wanted to mention that. He played Chopper. I don't remember Chopper, but...
Chopper was the leader of the Harley Davidson cult.
Oh, okay.
Harley Davidson.
It was just an amazing name.
Yes.
The actor's name. I'm like, are you a porn star? Like, really cool. And Herb Klaupowitz was the Rock Eater, as well as a few other aliens within this movie. Yeah. I think that was the only male one. The other ones he played were female. But tons of aliens in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where some of the potential for this movie comes in, is the aliens and using some of these characters to greater effect, right? Like the Rock Eater.
Yes.
I mean, he was just there. Right?
Yeah.
Show up. It's just like the little alien baby thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun.
I mean, this movie literally was cut and paste from more successful franchises. It's got a Star Wars crawl at the beginning of the film. It's got a Star Trek narration for the captain at the beginning and the end of the movie. It's got the little alien bit. It's got literally a dude who looks like Mr. Spock called Mr. Spot, who's a bartender.
Yeah.
Which I did kind of chuckle at that.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering how they got away with it.
In an old West town.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Very Star Trek, actually.
Very, very Star Trek. I mean, none of this movie makes a lick of sense. It's the year 3008 on a ship called the Infinity, which is a jumper 308 class. Yeah, I wrote that shit down.
Yeah.
There wasn't much else to write down.
No. Like, if I were to take a stab at this, I think what the person had written down, this was the entire script written down on a piece of paper. A hot robot falls in love with guy. They have to go find this device.
Blue Star.
The
Blue
end.
Star. I did like the bit where every time they said the name, it sang.
Yes. Oh, and everybody looked confused about it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was funny. That was probably the whole joke they had. That was their joke. It's like, we have this device, and then whenever they say the name, it sings.
Yeah.
Blue Star.
Blue Star. And they're all looking around like, oh, what?
Yeah, and then
Where's that
one time
coming
it
from?
doesn't, they all say it again.
He's like, wait, let's try that.
Yeah, because it became normal.
Yeah.
And apparently this thing can grant great cosmic powers and all that. But you know what? This movie, these guys are essentially like cosmic traffic cops, which again doesn't make a lot of sense. You'd think that would be taken care of in their local system, much like it is on the planet. And they're sent on this mission to the far reaches of the galaxy. They have to put them into hypersleep, 27 years of sleep, to go find this item. That
this guy,
this
who's supposed to have
half robot guy Ordric was going after, who they'd already tried to pull over once.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad. And for a science fiction film, you expect a certain amount of action. There was none. There was literally no action
The
in this.
motorcycle chase.
Yes, that was about as far as it got, and that was pretty damn weak.
Oh, and the constant Sergeant Thor on the rowing machine.
Miscounting.
Yeah.
It was making me
All the
fucking
time.
nuts.
Thank
Oh,
you.
he was doing
That
it on
was driving me
purpose.
nuts.
But yeah.
Yes.
You are so right, Sam. That was.
But he was doing it on purpose to no purpose.
Yeah.
Right? That was the problem with it.
Yeah, if there was like a bet or something and somebody was listening, and I don't know.
Yeah, if there was some sort of backstory as to why he did it, aside from just doing it.
There was a lot of why is
Yeah.
anything happening in this movie.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I love is Galaxina's chair. If we
Yes.
keep nothing else, I'm keeping the fucking chair.
The glowing chair.
Yeah, I mean, she's essentially what's controlling this ship.
Yeah.
These guys are just kind of hanging out. I mean, they don't even look like official officers of any sort. You know, Buzz is running around in the worst cut-off jean shorts ever.
Yes.
Like, I fucking hate your jorts.
Yeah, and I mean, then your captain looks like a flippin' hippie, not a spaceship captain or something.
Yeah.
It's especially for a military organization or police organization. I mean, we can't even really discuss the plot because there isn't one. Like,
No,
right?
I mean, there's like, okay, there's the overblown dinner scene of them
Why?
prepping to do all these pills. I'm like, what is the purpose of any of
Well,
this?
I know what the purpose of that was. It didn't work, but the whole idea is because Galaxina, it's called Galaxina, and she's barely in the first half of the movie.
Oh, yeah. I was
right.
wondering when she was going to.
But I think that they were trying to establish that she's the one who really runs the ship. And that's
Yeah.
where I'd really like to play that up in our remake, is that showing that she's really the one who's in control of everything.
Yeah, and I'm surprised
Yeah,
she's
but I
falling
mean-
in love with Thor because Thor's acting in love, but not like, no, I think you just want to get some robot love. Like, he's
yeah, no,
constantly
he
trying
just-
to get a little grab ass. And
I'm
get
ditching
chomped.
that. That's
He-
gone.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so much I want. Most of this is going to get ditched. I think there's some themes we can grab onto. Artificial intelligence getting awareness
Yes.
and improving herself, too.
and improving herself. There's a scene in there like where they're given furlough and she's watching, and I thought this was going to turn into a Hal situation.
Yes,
That's
and
what I
I thought
thought.
that
And
would be
nothing
really
happened.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to go with it. Is I can see I don't want Thor falling in love with her, but I do want her falling in love with Thor. Right, and I cast that way. I wanted
And
to,
that jealousy kind of playing into things that happen later.
yes, I think that would make it a lot more interesting.
Yeah. And, you know, I want to play this like they are legitimate law enforcement. I mean, that's not fucking traffic
No.
cops. Like, if she's running the ship, essentially, they should be working on investigations. Like, that's what they should be doing.
Like,
That's their specialty.
I would say they're like the galactic version of like
SWAT.
FBI, CIA. Like
Yeah.
they're higher up
I
and
think-
they're making those
I
high end.
think
That's why.
we're-
I cast that way. I wanted an elite team. Yeah,
Look at that. We're all on the same page today. That is amazing. Okay. I'm going to run the trailer before we really deep dive into this because I think we're going to have a lot of fun since we're already kind of jiving on the same thoughts here. So I'm going to run the trailer.
Good luck.
It's nuts, but
and it probably should have been in last week's episode.
yeah, right.
Yep.
Right. This should have been, and that's part of it. I almost did a clip show of some of our worst episodes trailers, but I'm like, let's give you something new because maybe you'll want us to remake some of these.
Absolutely.
But yes, this is Galaxina from 1980.
Once upon a time that hasn't happened yet, there will be a spaceship called the Infinity. And steering the Infinity among the heavenly bodies will be the most heavenly body of them all, called Galaxina, a dream machine, transistorized and computerized to lead her space buddies across the farthest reaches of fantastic adventure with class.
Venusian Thunder Ripple, 2001, a great year. Great.
Galaxina, the beautiful. Galaxina, the untouchable. Galaxina, the invincible. She cleans. She cooks. She does windows and more.
I've adjusted my temperature. I'm better than a human woman.
What year is it? 3035. I got 3033. This thing's slow.
It's party time on the planets with the beautiful people of the intergalactic jet set.
Well, at least you're not two-faced. But you wouldn't have chosen the one you've got on.
Tension to the fourth dimension as they dodge death rays across the universe. Good guys, bad guys, nice aliens.
Open your mouth, say ah!
nasty aliens.
The name is Mr. Spot.
Galaxina, starring Stephen Mock, Avery Schreiber, James David Hinton, and introducing Dorothy R. Stratton, Playboy's Playmate of the Year as your favorite gal, Galaxina.
All right, Galaxina 1980. Soak it all in.
Yeah.
I know I did it already, but I'm going to apologize again. But you know what? I'm not. I'm actually going to pull that back a little bit because I think we're going to have a lot of fun remaking this.
Yes.
I think so too.
Right? I'm sorry to those people in this room who I made watch it. And anybody out there who decides that they're going to watch it, please don't.
Well, you just had to turn on YouTube. It was in my
It's
collection.
in there.
It was. I had it on Blu-ray upstairs. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
I went to visit our good friend and co-host Jeff. And
yes.
He had a little double feature disc. I'm like, oh, this looks like it's full of potential for the show. Oh,
What's the other
That was
feature?
a waste of like $3.
Nice.
The Crater Lake, Crater Lake.
Oh.
Creature from Crater Lake. I don't know.
That one might redeem it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? Well, we know one of them is not worth it.
But yes, I have it on Blu-ray apparently. That's terrible.
And hilarious. at the
It
same
doesn't
time.
seem like the effects on it would be real good on Blu-ray.
No, there were times I could see the strings on the ships.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the transfers you guys saw, but I certainly saw them.
Oh, there's that one scene where where the ship does a power slide,
Yeah,
and you can totally see the strings.
yeah. I'm like, this is 1980. We've already had 2 Star Wars movies. Even if you did it half-ass, you should have still been able to do better.
Space
And Battlestar Galactica, too.
1999 did
Yeah.
it much better.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think some of the cheesiness is it was deliberate in this movie because they were spoofing.
Yeah.
Did anybody else feel that the Infinity kind of was phallic?
Oh, yeah, that was my first thought.
yeah.
When I looked at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's just a big dick, and I'm going to deal with a lot of dick shit.
It looked like a
It's gonna be-
diseased penis. There were lots of nodules on the side.
It was like, well, it's like a lumpy, weird dildo because it's got like all those rib sides, and I'm like, oh, that's why they were
ribs
doing
for your
that. Yeah,
pleasure.
exactly. So that's what I was thinking. And once I saw that, I was sitting there going, oh, I know what I'm in for now.
Yeah, and I mean, there's
Yeah.
surprisingly few dick jokes, but there was a lot of sex jokes.
Yes.
And I can't even call them jokes. It's not funny.
Oh, no.
It's not like they're trying to be over the top hilarious, and it's just ugh.
They were
whole time.
playground insults.
Yeah.
Because at one time it's like, I don't want to. I don't want to engage in a battle of wits because I don't attack people who are unarmed. Yeah, we said that when we were 10 on the playground. That's
Yeah.
not witty.
No.
There's very, very few funny bits in this movie.
Yeah.
And most of them aren't dialogue. Like I said, the Blue Star music was probably the funniest thing in the whole movie. That and
Yep.
Spot.
Yeah.
Spot. I kind of liked the little alien creature and the rock guy. I was like, why is it the rock guy is one of the most believable characters in
There's
this
that,
movie?
yeah. And I did like the human restaurant. I thought that was actually
That's
kind
a
of
good
funny.
joke. Because when you go to a Chinese restaurant, you are not eating Chinese people. You
Yeah.
are eating Chinese food.
Yeah. No, it was full of aliens, and that's what they ate.
Yes.
You can tell though they had fun. Somebody had fun in the design of it. They're like going, "Oh, what menu would you have?"
Yes.
in a restaurant.
Yeah, that was the most creative writing in the whole movie.
Absolutely.
Was that damn menu?
Yeah, I wish I would have taken a screen capture of that. I'm like, finger food. No, it's actual fingers.
Yeah, lady fingers, pot bellied.
That was the wittiest bit in the whole movie. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
iced cream, but with IEYE.
Let's see. What is there anything else keepable in this movie that we talked about?
Oh, I want to keep the Harley Davidson cult. I liked it.
Do you really?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the idea of
Who's putting a near mint Harley Davidson into space onto an alien?
Oh no,
planet?
it was the fact that they were. I would say that it was like a penal thing, like Australia. They were getting rid of all these
that's
people
what they
and sending them
suggested,
there.
right? So
I guess that's why there's a people restaurant.
Yeah, so I liked the idea of sort of throwing back and sort of because it actually makes sense that something ancient could become something ritualistic later on, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be the Harley Davidson cult,
No.
but something like that would be really fun. I think, I think it would bring a little bit of camp to it without being over the top.
Yeah, well, and I don't even think it would be like a cult. It'd be like maybe treated the fact like that biker culture is their culture that they were brought up with as like children, and it is its own thing. Like it's the society.
And that's what they suggested. It wasn't handled very well, but that's what they were suggesting all along is exactly that, is that through the years, the sole remaining motorcycle that somehow got into this planet had become the focus of their community. Right?
And their religious Bible is like, I don't know, an old iPad full of like 70s grindhouse biker movies.
Cool.
Yeah.
And they're talking like, oh, yes, we must keep our faith against the man.
Or better yet, a Chilton's Guide to Repairing Harley Davidson.
Oh,
there you go.
Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Yeah. You say, yeah. And they replaced the carburetor.
I did have to laugh when they says, they've stolen our God.
Yeah, I didn't get that part. For some reason, I thought it was the blue star that they were upset about. I didn't get that other bit.
It took me a second, too. I'm like, oh, that's the bike that they're...
Well, yeah. And
I didn't know until they worshipped it at the end after they got out of it.
Yeah, because they kept saying "All hail Harley Davidson" or something like that. And so I knew right away.
It didn't take me long to click in. And I'm like, they've stolen our God. That's a good line.
Yeah, and again, the one of the funnier bits in the movie had nothing to do with the story. Right?
I just had a thought. Sorry, this is dumb, but they're worshiping Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, and it's cutouts of Don Johnson and Mickey Rourke.
That would be good. And it was weird because the cult leader at one point has the blue star.
Yes,
and he's talking about the same things Ardrick talks about is fulfilling their cult, making it bigger, and taking over worlds, planets, universes, etc. I mean, when they're on the menu on this planet, I could see where that would... But as soon as their god's taken and they recover it, they just start praising their god and totally forget about the other goal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not right.
And that doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. But I think that that could be used to good effect in a remake. One, to add some tension, because I think that the whole capture scene, whether it's Galaxina who's captured or somebody else, I think that could add some tension to it. It's a pretty tropey device, but it always works well if it's handled properly.
I don't know. I like the idea that like she was captured sort of on purpose.
Yeah,
because
I mean that could be the case. I mean, it empowers Galaxina a lot more, right? And I want this Galaxina to be the strong character in this, right?
Yeah,
the actual main character.
Yeah. Well, I would. I don't
think that's too much to ask.
would like to see her. She's been quietly reprogramming herself while everybody's in hypersleep on this investigation, and I certainly would like the idea of a little bit of the Hal moments where she's doing stuff to the crew out of jealousy or whatever, or manipulating things. Like maybe she's going out on this investigation on this planet because she's the only one who can survive it, and
that's what I thought
properly. And in reality, she wants the blue star so she could be a real girl.
Maybe.
And possibly. I mean, that's certainly something worth investigating.
Ultimately, it could be she's had 27 years. Maybe there's just a whole bunch of like human information that she's been engaging in looking at. And she's like, oh yeah, these people should never have it. It's not a good idea.
She takes it so she can start the robot rebellion.
Yeah. Well, not even that. She takes it because she's like, nobody should have this. This is bullshit. I mean, I can't trust anybody with this.
Yeah,
exactly. Just I like that actually quite a bit, right? And I like the idea of her using that 27 years not only to sort of discover the truth about this item of power, but also about discovering herself, where she's got these feelings for one of the crew members, and she's tired of being the ship, basically.
Yeah.
Right? So she.
Can we adjust it for a second before we get that far into her character? Why would a company develop a robot for law enforcement to look like that is essentially just there for
she's just
collating and piloting, etc.
She's just a servant, really, on that ship.
Yeah, so what's that for? Is this repurposed porn tech?
That's what I'm wondering.
Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense why she would look the way she would look. If she's a pilot and there for collating data and serving the crew, she wouldn't even need a physical form, really.
No.
The ship could be that. So what is it? Like, what is Galaxina, really? Well, I kind of like the idea of maybe this is something they have picked up on a previous investigation from a pimp ring, like from some sort of...
that would feed really well into my thoughts about...
And they've reprogrammed her for law enforcement.
Well, not even law enforcement, for maintenance. Like she does the things that the ship can't do for itself, like fixing screws and doing the physical things that the ship can't do, right? Like moving things. Right?
Well, maybe also too, if there's like a bug in something and there's a problem, she has to debug it.
They do have maintenance crew.
Yeah, they do. Those are those two guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Batwing guy and the Chinese guy.
And really, the Batwing guy is the only guy who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
the Chinese guy was just proverb, dude.
Yeah.
Which I have definitely changed in my version.
As have I. So I've recast them as part of this elite team of.
Yeah. So have I.
So she could refill into that maintenance. She's the maintenance droid.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't just make her completely maintenance.
No, I wouldn't
I
either.
think the ship can do a lot of that on its own and probably has other droids that were already part of that ship.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea of her being repossessed tech that they use for other things.
And I also like her being sort of information as well in the ship. She's an informational interface as well, probably.
Yeah, and you know what? I think they've already been using her on cases because if they can get her in there as the sexy robot or whatever, like if she can act human enough to fool
Absolutely.
a perp, like that's kind of what she's there for in some regards. That because they've reprogrammed her to do
that
so.
would play well into the way I would like to open the film is have them in an actual takedown. Right?
Yeah.
So she could be there as the bait.
Yeah.
Right?
And the thing is, she is an actual robot, so she's she's less destructible than any of the human people.
Yeah.
She's, and expendable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but I mean, she also is less hard to kill.
Yeah,
like more hard to kill.
I think we're going for a more balanced action comedy, sci-fi comedy here with this, rather than the full-on spoof that it was prior to it.
Well,
I don't think we need as many in-jokes. I'm still not sold on the
Spoof is
Harley
loosely.
Davidson cult myself.
I could see it being a cultural aspect of that planet. Because it is a prison planet, I would see like you have them, you have like what other people.
You know, if it looked a little more Road Warrior-y and they are being victimized by other people on that planet, I would totally buy that as a prison planet.
Yeah. See, I would think actually, if you're talking Road Warrior, if I
and
would
their
see
death
what we
sentence is being fed to other aliens.
Yeah.
what the precursor to the Road Warrior would probably be Harley Davidson gangs, if we're honest.
Yeah, so that's that would be kind of shades of Escape from New York.
Yeah, you have. I mean, and it kind of brings in that homage that they were spoofing, but we can bring it in as an homage to some of these great classic science fiction films
in a much better way.
Yeah, because a prison planet, I just don't think they explored that at all, which would have been really interesting, actually.
Yeah,
it certainly would have been a lot better than 30 minutes of them flying through space.
Oh God! Oh, and then when they get this made me so mad when they get that blast to the rear. And then the spaceship
blast
falls.
to the rear.
Yeah, they got the blast to the rear.
I hate when I get the blast to the rear.
I know, I hate that. And then the ship falls.
It's usually after some bad KFC.
Yeah, right? The ship falls downward. They're in space. There is no fucking down.
I know. It's like it's sinking.
How dare you? How fucking dare you? That made me so mad.
Yeah, there's lots to fix. Right?
Yeah, after that so terrible line of "There's no sirens in space."
That was actually kind of funny.
I wish there would have been more with the little alien. Like when they sort of show the little alien going in and messing with the cryotube, I thought, oh, maybe we're going to get a little subplot where it's her and the alien sort of a little cat and mouse in the ship for a few years or something.
Yeah.
Nope. Nothing.
No, yeah, I guess we're probably gonna have to ditch that. I think.
Yeah, that would have been fun if they'd done something with it.
Yeah. I don't think it's important. I don't think that
it would move way too far.
It's too much like Alien.
Ice Pirates already does it better.
Yeah.
In some regards, yeah, it's too much.
Oh no, I'm just telling you what I hoped would happen.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, I think we can ditch that entirely because
it served no purpose.
Well,
except for the rescue at the end.
Except the rescue at the end.
But
that's
we can rewrite that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We can certainly rewrite
and
that.
And it should, I mean, whatever rescue happens, it should be Galaxina. So
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not some little alien. And to be honest, if anybody just used the raid for half a second, the model thin robot could have squeezed through those bars.
Absolutely.
No problem.
With zero trouble.
Yeah.
Actually, I think even the little Chinese man could have done it as well.
I think so too.
Yes. And I mean, she's a robot. She has more than human strength, or she should.
That's what I wanted. That's what I thought was going to happen.
I did like the idea that the ship had a brig, and it already had a perp in there. We could add to that if we want to.
Oh, for sure.
If they're law enforcement,
they're not always going back to a home base, right? Right. So yeah, but
Well, I mean, it could serve a purpose. Like, okay, they need to infiltrate this prison planet to find this item. Well, they've already got the best excuse to drop off a prisoner.
yes,
Yeah, or they have a guy who knows something, and he's also the person who's going to tell them where this Rick Fortune is, or what is his name again? Something Fortune, Frank Fortune, Rick Fortune,
Yeah, Frank Future.
Frank Future.
Yeah.
So you can't even remember the names. So unmemorable.
Who we never see because he was eaten at the restaurant prior to their
That's
run.
gotta
Yes.
go. We gotta meet him.
Yeah. That was frustrating to me, too.
So angry.
I remember they're talking about Frank Future. I'm like, I don't have him on my
I'm
cast
casting
list.
Tim Thomerson as him right now.
Ooh. That sounds good. I concur.
Okay. I'm down with that.
All right. Cool. We did
Because
it.
I didn't cast him before, and I'm like, oh,
No.
there we go. And none of us cast him in our remake of Jared Sin, by the way.
No, we did not.
No, I got in trouble for that.
Did you?
Yes, our
Wow.
friend Sean at What Does It Matter? He's like, why didn't you guys cast Tim Thomerson
Because we have bigger plans for Tim Thomerson.
this week? Yes.
He's going to be a key element of the story rather than just a side plot.
Yes.
Tim Thomerson deserves more.
He didn't fit in our remake, but don't worry. We haven't forgotten about Tim.
No, we have
You
not.
can't.
I mean, and face it, he's in his 70s now, so, you know, what we can use him for is limited.
Yes. And this would be a perfect role for him.
Yes.
Exactly.
Who's been a long interred prisoner on this planet.
He always
Dodging the restaurant.
Oh, I could see him having missing limbs because when they're running short, they cut off a leg or an arm.
Oh, and just these used parts. And
Yeah, he's
and-
Oh, but
Wait a
like
minute.
he's got like robot limbs they've put on in place, or he's had put on in place.
what if he's the one that started the Harley Davidson cult just to keep these guys busy and off his back?
That would add a element of
Nice.
humor. Yeah, have him. I mean, make him a smart, not smart, but savvy kind of
Clever.
guy. Clever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's the one that, like, what does the great book say? And he just flips through this Harley manual and makes some shit up because none of them can read.
Yeah.
The fuel.
And so he's kind of indoctrinated these guys to keep him protected.
Without
on
the
this
fuel
planet.
pump, nothing can be. For without the fuel, the engine doesn't run. If the engine doesn't run, it is death.
Oh, I like that. You've already written the dialogue. Yeah, and they can call him the mechanic in the tones of reverence.
The mechanic.
Yeah. See, isn't this so much better, Sean? Shut up.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, yeah, Tim can kind of look kind of prophetic. So
Yeah.
He can.
Yeah.
But
and
he also
can pull
looks
off the humor, too.
Yeah.
Because
True.
he'd be winking to whoever heard this, like Galaxina is standing there, and she's just rolling her robotic eyes.
True.
Really? He's like, it works.
But he also does the best side eye when somebody mocks him. Nobody does it better than this guy.
That's
that is
true.
also true. Yes. I
They
think we're
can
writing
have
a
a
movie
bit of a
around Tim
barter.
again.
Yeah.
I would like to see their pair up.
Yeah. Okay.
They're paired up on the planet. Okay, sorry, I'm done.
Do we keep the cat house? The alien cat house?
Yes.
I think
The
so.
furlough?
Yes, for one reason only, because at least in my mind, we have Galaxina and her schoolgirl crush, and then this feeds the jealousy because he clearly was intimate with some of these prostitutes at the end. I
Yeah.
mean, he's kissing them as goodbye and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So I like
would-
the idea of keeping that in there.
Yeah, I would love the fact that she's gets a little bit of vengeance along the way. Because, you know, with the onboard shock thing that she has on her,
Yeah.
and maybe that's
Well-
a security feature the cops have put in so that shit doesn't
They don't
happen.
because she was a sex bot originally.
Yeah.
And honestly, he does grab her ass, so that's kind of useful for her.
Yeah, so having this shock ability, and this should be something she can use willingly, not just as a security feature.
Oh no,
She
she's
can
she's a
modify
badass.
it.
I
Yeah.
want her to be a badass. By the end of this, the halfway through the second act, I want her to be a badass. She's gone from being bait and intelligence to having trained herself during whatever period
Yeah.
we give them to be an effective battle bot.
And-
Speaking of sci-fi, just a sec. Speaking of sci-fi battle babes, did it, like, costume-wise, she reminded me a lot of Miranda from Mass Effect.
Yes.
Just saying. It was like,
Maybe.
hey, wait a minute.
There's a lot of stuff where they'll use as an influence for the future video games. Like
Yeah.
Laura Croft is based on this British actress, from what I remember.
Yeah, well, you know more about it than I do, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to
so-
remember her name, but I've seen her. She was in
yeah.
Underworld Blood Wars? No. I'm trying to remember.
Well, that's probably why we can't remember.
Yeah.
So what were you saying?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's the BattleBot, but I think I can see her. She's sort of fallen in love with him, and I can see the jealousy at the beginning. But I think also part of her learning over the 27 years is about sort of more of relationships. I think once she gets to that point, she's more naive because she's basically probably only learned anything from like romantic comedies, which teach you shit. So
Yeah, and I think,
she'll get more knowledge.
I think part of this investigation, they do have to go into hypersleep to go to a far-off place.
Yes.
Ordrick's from a different race
Yeah.
that is competitive, and maybe he's like some crime lord they've been chasing for quite some time.
Yes, rather than sort of this chance happening in the middle of space.
Yeah.
I mean, you think it's hard to find another ship in the ocean?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
God.
have to build to that. And he's got no men. Like, he's by himself all the time. Like, is he some
should
sort
be
of
somebody
ninja
with him.
Jedi guy? Like, and he should be a badass, but he should have his own people.
Yes.
Well, and he gets dizzy walking around in a circle for 5 minutes, so that's bad.
And he's a robot, so he should have a gyro and all that fun stuff where he doesn't get dizzy at all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we should make that more
What happens when he
cyborg
has
with
to
him.
pilot his ship in a weird way to evade things? Obviously,
Oh, no,
he just loses it.
I like the idea of what you were saying there, Jay, but they each have because I liked his ship. His ship was actually kind of cool.
Oh, with the bird.
Yeah. So he has a little fleet
Bird of prey?
Yeah.
Real
I don't
on
know
the
what that's
nose.
from.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. I like the idea of him having like a little fleet, like a little guy of these like little sort of single combat flyers.
Yeah.
Right. Because then you could lead into a really fun space battle with the Infinity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because the Infinity does lose that first battle.
Yeah.
And this is a far superior force that's not part of whatever alliance that they're a part of.
Yeah.
This is somebody they've been after for a while. They've gotten the drop on him, but it goes south, and in the midst of repairs and stuff, he's way ahead of them, and when intelligence comes through about the Blue Star, or
Yeah.
whatever
And-
MacGuffin we're going to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea because it first off it gives you some action right at the beginning of the movie. So you have a couple action scenes right at the very beginning of the movie to keep it moving, and then you can really montage that 27 years.
Yes, please.
So that it's really short and concise. Get rid of the fucking dinner scene.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to go.
Yeah.
It did nothing. And there was the point, too, where
No,
they
if we're
dropped...
getting rid of the alien, that's the whole point
They-
of him eating this rotten egg that they've had.
and candles in a spaceship,
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, more things eating oxygen.
But it's weird. They did that thing with the pill where he dropped a little bit of water on it and then became a bird. And I'm like, oh, and then nothing
they-
after that.
Yeah.
No, they look at it like, ew. Yeah, we'll just get rid of that joke, too. That's dumb.
We don't need any of that stuff. It doesn't serve the story in any way.
No, not at all. I mean, we could just see them eating like normal.
They should eat normal paste.
This is an elite crew that's designed for investigation and takedown.
Yeah.
So that's what everybody on this thing is for. Anything mechanics is automated and mostly controlled by Galaxina and whatever AI's on this ship.
Yeah.
Or little other tiny robots that she controls to do the other stuff.
And I agree. Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't just be Galaxina. It should be she's kind of the
She is the AI.
Yeah, she's the one that directing everything.
Yeah,
that
and
needs
that's
to be
her
done.
glowing chair is it not only serves as a recharge, but it also is her command center.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's her communicating directly with
Yeah.
the ship.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was supposed to be, actually.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're supposed to think. But again, it wasn't handled very well, like most things in this movie. Is there were these things that you were supposed to get, but it wasn't very clear that that's what was supposed to be happening.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into the crew itself. We've agreed that this is a more serious toned. I mean, there should be a playful camaraderie within the crew because we are going for action comedy, that buddy cop kind of thing. So we should kind of identify the characters of who these guys are going to be. I mean, let's start with Sergeant Thor. He's essentially the lead in this movie. So
He is essentially, even though it's called Galaxina.
But not in this one.
yeah,
He's
the
one
male
of the
lead.
characters.
I'm going to say he's the male lead, and it really frustrated me when I was going through IMDb and Dorothy Stratton, who's the title character, is number 4 on the cast
Yes.
list.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I found that a bit annoying as well.
But I'm getting the feeling that it was probably credited in order of appearance.
Yes, I know. I see Sergeant Thor as being the tough as nails guy, right? He's
because he's the leader. He's the one who's in charge of tactical.
Yeah,
he's not the commander of the ship, but the commander of the ship, the captain of the ship, doesn't really go on away missions. He's clerical. And he's
mine does the way I cast him. He is part of the team.
Yeah, I would too, but Thor's the one that's kind of more in charge of the men and collates all the data. The captain's the one that passes on what.
Just like real military.
He's a sergeant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what his he's a sergeant in this movie. He's a sergeant in ours.
Yeah. He's a non-commissioned officer. He's the one who gives the orders to the men. That's the way it's currently structured. Yeah,
that's what we keep that structure. And so he's got to be more serious in tone and not on a fucking row machine the whole time,
counting out of order.
Yeah, he just.
And I cast that way. The actor I cast, and we won't get into casting yet, but he's very good at playing serious, but delivering these really fantastic comedic lines.
Ooh, I think mine too, actually.
Yeah. So he's going to have his humor is going to be very, very kind of dry.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
At least in my casting.
Cool.
Yeah, because like he's tough as nails. I think that's part of the problem with it is he's sort of emotionally stunted and shut down because he's busy doing all these hard ass jobs.
Yeah, and that's part of their furlough is he's just like this. I need to get some stuff moving, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm blowing off steam.
He does have a bit of a crush on Galaxina, but he keeps it to himself because she's a robot. She's a device, and that's part of his emotional arc. Will be to recognize that she is becoming a sentient being and deserves more respect.
Yes.
Than just an object of usefulness, and not an object to be objectified. Let's just. Get that out of the way. Yeah. That's not what this movie's about. It is about gaining sentience and being treated like a person and not being treated like another device on the ship.
And him recognizing that his growing attraction to her is misdirected and that he really does need to start looking at his human connections.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that a lot, actually.
Alternatively, too, like his growing connection with her is because he's realizing, like, it's because he's interacting with her as he should other humans. Yeah. And it's like, no, she is becoming more human. This is very much how you
we could have a fun device to make that work really well because she wants to learn combat techniques.
Ooh.
So she's constantly going to him, well, can you teach me how to do this? Can you teach me how to do this?
Yeah.
Right? And that's how where he starts to develop.
Yeah, and I'd say early on beforehand, she's just observing.
Yeah,
and he's not realizing what she's doing. Yeah. She's observing the combat training with the other crew, and after we go through our cycle of the cryo sleep that is necessary for their investigation to get to their destination, that's where she's changed and has that more human. Let's get into this physically. Let's learn it because she's replaying the tapes. Like now, she wants.
And she's been practicing by herself. Yeah,
and also all the previous missions. She's like going, well, if I had known, if I'd been able to do this like this, the mission might have been more successful. We might not have lost somebody, or somebody might not have been killed.
At the beginning, they should lose a crew member, and that plays really well into the Buzz character.
Yeah,
he's a replacement because the way I cast him, he's younger. So, I'm liking the way this is going.
My Buzz character is very fun, but
Buzz is actually older. But
my Buzz is younger and actually much more comedic. So I was hoping to get
mine.
Well, maybe yours is better, but yeah. But I had Buzz as a bit of an older guy. Maybe still kind of dumb, but that's why he's not.
That's why he's not still up in the ranks. He's
still one of the grunts.
But he's so sweetly dumb. Like they have a soft spot for him.
I mean, these guys are more detective class, and some of them are meant more as tactical, right? Yeah. And that's where I see Buzz is his strengths are within tactical planning, door breaking,
power.
So raw power. So okay, we got Buzz figured out. Captain Cornelius, but I want to suggest a retitling,
a name change,
like Butte.
Yeah,
just subtle enough that it sounds like
Captain
a normal
Cornelius.
Name. Captain Cornelius, maybe.
Which is a nice throw to Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh yeah. Either one works.
Who's the one that actually doesn't want to be a detective and wants to be a dentist?
Oh no, that's Edgar.
I know.
Yukon Cornelius is the one with the big beard.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so he's just going to be more of a serious captain type.
Oh yeah, and my casting works for that really well for that.
Yeah,
and a bit of a dick. I want him to be a bit of a dick. Right, but because he is in the original.
Oh, mine's perfect for that.
Yeah, because I mean,
he is a bit of a dick.
He is a bit of a dick, but in a really fucking stupid way.
Yeah, and he sees himself in a very regal, title way. He's like over the top, like he's got the shoulder pads and this self-importance.
Yeah.
But that's completely
He can't
false.
do anything.
Like, so we're going to scrap that. Here's a guy who's earned his position.
Yes.
And
He's abrasive and really
Yeah.
doesn't care about anything but what the mission is.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't care. He doesn't really care about his men. And that could be another arc, is where he's like realizes how important these guys
And
really are.
that's
to him.
also part of also the conflict too, where he's like, I think you're getting a little too attached to that robot.
Yeah, like,
He doesn't see her as a person, and that's also kind of stress.
And this could be like an argument too. Like, okay, if we got to go all the way to this planet, this prison planet, and we're basically giving up any life on our home planet anytime soon, then we at least need a furlough beforehand.
Yeah.
And so there could be some conflict with the men there, and he finally relents to those requests instead of a known guy who frequents this place often.
Yes.
My God. And then
He's just
that moment where he
gross.
puts the bag over the woman's head, I'm like, there was a mistake there. You should have taken the aisles out so she won't have to look at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that whole scene needs to be reworked. There's no question.
Oh, it could be fun, like
Yeah.
a cantina scene. It could
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. Now, Maurice, he was the mechanic, essentially, the guy with the useless wings.
He's your tech guy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. His specialty is in armaments. He's the tech guy, absolutely. He's the one that knows how the tactical dropships work and all the armaments work and sniper rifles, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's the one that hands all that stuff out, details it, and makes sure everything's pitch perfect. And he's the resident sniper.
Yes, absolutely. And then Sam Wu.
He's just a martial arts badass.
Yes.
He's the
Hand-to-hand combat.
Hand-to-hand, absolutely. He's one of the guys at the front who can really mix it up.
And wise, experienced one.
Well, see, I went
and
a different way.
Yeah, you can still have that wise wisdom within there, and he'd be right up there with Buzz and Thor.
See, I went with a younger guy, fun-loving, swashbuckling type of dude.
Oh, I went a very different
like
direction.
he-
Mine's in his 30s-ish.
Mine's in his 30s, but like he's just he's not that. He's the antithesis of the guy who's always saying parables. He's like, no, we'll just get this shit done. Like, he's just easy breezy. He knows what he's fucking doing, and he is a badass, but he's just not stupidly serious.
Yeah, no, I would have him just before knocking down a door, say some wisdom to himself to psych himself up, and bam, let's go. Just as a nice nod.
Oh, you can even have some more fun. It's like every time they go into a mission, the character can show, "Here's a fortune cookie for you," and then say some sort of stupid fortune cookie aphorism.
Well, let's not get racist about it.
No, no. See, that's why I kind of went the other way.
That's why I thought it'd be fun because if it's an Asian character saying something like that, it's like it's making fun of those tropes, right? That was the thought. But you're right; it does come across kind of
wrong
direction.
Something wise to inspire the men.
Yeah.
I would
See,
think would be more apropos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could be like, oh, well, you could have say like some people have like this Confucius saying, but like what it really translates to is like just don't fucking die, and then, like just have something like that. Where he's like, you could interpret it as this, but it just means this, so just fucking do that.
Yeah, Confucius say, what's that mean? What's that mean, Sam? Don't fucking get killed.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Like that would be the joke. Is it's a long way to say something simple, dude.
Or don't be the first one through the door.
So you're going first, right?
That would actually be kind of funny, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we got the crew figured out. And
Are we keeping Rock Eater?
I think we should have some prisoners for sure. And I mean, if we're going to have a very diverse alien races like it had in this movie, let's not make it as obvious that they're doing the fucking cantina scene from Star Wars over and over and over again.
Something like People of Earth. I've been watching that. Those aliens are good.
But yeah, like there should be an alien prisoner in there. And I mean, maybe there is more culture to their crew as well than just Earth people.
Well, I mean, the one character has wings. He's clearly not human.
Yeah, we can make him a different type of alien because they just seem to get in his way.
Yeah.
If he has wings, we should be fucking seeing him using them.
That would play very well into the sniper character.
In
actually.
combat, that would be perfect too, as well. Like if he gets into close combat, those wings come into play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd like them to have little kind of barbs on them, like claws, like regular bats do.
Mm-hmm. And less humanoid looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Like, yeah, wouldn't it be great? Like, you just kick some ass with those bat wings. Yeah.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, you know what? And our quote unquote cantina scene, they could end up in a bar brawl, right? Just to get, again, to keep that the action and the pacing moving, right?
Yeah.
Move away from the over sexualization of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's clear what they're there for, but this is really more about them blowing off steam, and that's how they blow off steam, is get into a bar fight too, right?
We could have that too, but it could also be like some of the stuff you see one of the guys in the room with one of the girls, and all it is he just wants to be Little Spoon.
Yeah.
Like it's about getting that connection before they have to go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we should have that little jealousy moment.
Yeah, you need
Yes.
that, like I said, but less focus on the fact that it's a sexual experience, and more on it's just an overall.
Yeah, instead of
getting
this
out,
being
blowing
a
off
cat
steam.
house, this is just a destination spot where people drink and
it's
relax or game or
it's a
whatever.
hub, right? Where people go to trade and drink beer. I mean, very, very Firefly-ish, actually, where they have those places where they can go fairly safely because they're not really policed.
Yeah, I think that's.
But these are the police, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But they're known. We could have they get paid off. I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe you could have the brothel, the person who owns it, like going, yeah, see, I like having you guys in here because you don't cost me as much as the other cops.
Well, I would think these guys already. It wouldn't really be a brothel if they have Galaxina. They've taken places like that down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're probably not very well
That
liked.
could be it, where it's like it used to be this really terrible place, and they sort of came in and cleaned it up, and part of the
It's
deal
been
is like
actually
you
more
keep
successful.
it clean, we will come back.
Yeah, and you will get our business, and it actually is more successful because of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's like a down home. It's a dirty bar resort. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they've gotten rid of the sex bot industry, which is illegal.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But prostitution, like organized brothels that pay taxes and stuff like that, are perfectly legal.
Yes.
Right.
And because because the prostitutes are not like they're in charge of everything that happens. They're not just property.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can even have like the madam say, "How's Galaxina? How's she working out for you?"
Yeah.
Who's like going? She was like she
was
wanted
bartered out away.
Yeah, or else you could have that hinters like going. It always seemed like she wanted a bit more than what was ever here.
Yeah, which is really weird for a robot.
Yeah.
She was always, her programming was always a little off.
A little buggy, yeah.
A little
Yeah,
buggy.
yeah, yay!
Yeah.
That could be the hint of how she became much more aware.
Yeah, because I mean, this really is kind of a Pinocchio story in a lot of regards.
Really?
Yeah.
And yeah, she winds up, by the end of this movie, should be a valued member of the crew and a very useful tactical personnel.
Yes.
And one that replaces one of their dead crew, which is probably going to be Buzz. Sorry, Buzz.
Yeah, or she just added to the crew, right? She
Or added to the
right, just
crew.
added to the crew, because I just
Added to
have
the
this wonderful vision of her punching through a wall and grabbing some guy and pulling him back through. I mean, we've seen it in
Yes.
movies before, but I want to emphasize the fact that she is more than human.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, we never really see that within her character. That
No, when she's tied up on that that tower.
That bothered me. She should have been able to get out of that. She's a robot.
She should just just pulled, and then everything would have snapped. I mean, leverage is
Yeah.
always a tricky thing, but
Yeah.
she still should have been able to get out of that on her own.
Oh, those moments where that remind us that she's not technically human. Maybe something comes out, like a little laser that comes out of her forearm,
Nice.
cuts the ropes.
Oh, and like at the other
Or
the
chains
other
or
people
whatever.
come up. She's like, "What the hell are you doing here? I didn't want you to come. I'm busy."
I'm fine.
Or you know what? She's waiting.
I
She's
need to
monitoring
find
the
these
radio.
guys.
She's monitoring the radio, waiting for her moment to free herself.
Yeah.
Right. So you can sort of play that out.
She's
right?
sent on this planet because it does mess with perception to begin
Yeah.
with. And I mean, if it's a prison planet for humans, but maybe that's partially because it keeps the human population naturally drugged and mellow and susceptible, and maybe like Tim Thomerson is able to overcome this because of some of the cybernetic parts that he's had to replace.
Yes.
Part of his body, or he's got certain glasses that keep
Or-
that sunlight distortion from giving
Or-
that hallucinogenic effect.
yeah, for messing with him. So then that's
Yeah.
what makes him kind of this weird cult leader and manipulates the dude that controls the rest of those bikers.
Yeah.
Because they're so susceptible and dumb because of the atmosphere, and
Yeah.
it makes them easy prey for the other aliens.
Or I just had like a very dark thought that as opposed to like just like that bright red hues, which would just really amp you up, it's always this sort of like very, very blue and subdued things. So the reason why people are so calm is really they're just mildly depressed all the time. the reason why he's okay is like, I've always been mildly depressed. I know how to deal with it.
I have two thoughts. This planet has two different suns with two different types of radiation. So one's comes around, we have those more calming passive blue rays, and then the other one comes around and it's rage inducing.
Ooh. That would be crazy.
And then you
Humans.
could set up this whole thing where, like, when they're going there, it's like
So it becomes really dangerous.
Yeah, they're like,
really dangerous.
You got to
And
get it during blue, not red.
when they're getting their orders. They can say, just remember,
because they do mention that the crystal is going to be red in the daylight and blue at nighttime.
Yeah, but you could have a bit of dialogue there where when they're getting their orders, it says, just remember, we don't go down to the planet.
Yeah, red is dead.
Red is dead. Yeah, and then would add that urgency too, like going, the red sun's coming up any moment. What do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it.
And it gets hotter and I like that.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and you can have that's when the humans go to ground, and I see them like living in underground warrens, like they're really deprived.
Yeah, we got to be careful though that it doesn't rip off the Riddick movie.
Yes,
True.
So it's not super like sun rays going to burn everything at
Oh,
no,
no.
they do it to protect themselves from the aliens.
Yeah, protect
It's like
themselves.
it's purge night is why they're doing
and
it.
if they're out, like it gets very hostile. It's not amongst themselves as well.
Yeah.
They're just as much of a risk to each other because they can't control anything.
Or they
about
also find
themselves.
if they go into these warrens, like the effects are less, and they're like they can control themselves better. So they're like, I would prefer to be down here. I don't want to feel that way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're out in the sunlight and during red time, it would just be mass carnage. It's going to be 28 days later, right?
Yeah. I like that, and I could see like some of the aliens being immune to those effects.
That's what I thought too.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's certainly that's how it affects the humans.
Well, yeah, we can certainly see like there's certain tech they can use to survive within that, and I would think our commandos have that tech aboard their ship.
They would need to, because I mean, if you want them active during that really interesting looking shot, those really interesting looking shots, they need to be able to function in it, right? And it may be goggles and
actually I'd say like a balaclava because you don't want it touching your skin.
Yeah. And this is a case of like maybe Galaxina is not going alone, but she's fronting this mission because she's not going to be susceptible at all, and everybody else is kind of lurking in the background as backup.
Oh, you could have such a fun scene where she lands, and then you can see something through her eyes where she flicks filters through.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good, Sam.
To sort of get the optimal vision, and everything looks normal to her.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you see it from her side, like, that's the right one.
Yeah. Now I really want to see that, actually.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. That's a good idea.
And then, she goes forward because she's not going to be susceptible at all. And even with their tech, they're still somewhat susceptible to it. So they kind of have to remain on the ship for at least a period. They can only be out for a short time.
Yeah, there's limitations, right? Yeah. So she's their advanced scout on this particular mission because they don't go down to the planet, right? Right? Because that's the directive. We don't go down to the planet.
Yeah.
Right? But they have to make that choice because that's the only way they're going to recover.
Maybe it's because of their particular office and this particular present planet is not within their jurisdiction, so they've not been cleared, but she's technically not.
This is a Black Ops mission, and she's technically not one of them.
This is off the books.
Well, and partly because of the dangers of this planet, they just don't go down. You drop your prisoners off and you go.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And they go down on an automated shuttle. Mm-hmm. They get ejected in little canisters, and then.
Right.
And then the
very Escape from New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they can use their prison. I would suggest that they have more than one prisoner on this ship already, and use one as an excuse for a drop off, if not multiples.
Yeah, no, it is. It's their scheduled drop.
And that is and it's a good. That's the good front for what their actual mission is.
It's perfect. It's perfect fortuitous timing, right? It explains why they're in the atmosphere. Or why they're in orbit, but it doesn't. But it gives them a reason to be there. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait a minute. What about if we're going to make Frank Future here on the planet? What if he's like quietly controlling things within this planet, within the prison itself? Like he's the El Jefe within the prison, and Ordrick's actually one of his outside men. This scary robot, dude.
I could see that.
That doesn't explain Ordrick's motivation, though.
But if he can't leave where he's at, then he can use one of his outside men to go and get this thing they've learned about on this planet.
Well, it's on the planet, and that's why Ordric's there. Like I can see him being the Jefe, and he has it.
Ordric maybe be the other
Is Ordric
boss
there to
on the
get
other
him off
side.
the planet?
Ordric was his second in command.
Was the underboss, but is now the boss.
Exactly. Right.
So
Because
they're
I
in
see-
conflict.
Yes, because I see Frank being sort of benevolent in his interactions with the police. Right. I think he's like, yeah, I'm sure I'll help you, because he doesn't know that. Especially when he hears this Ordric, he's like, oh fuck, I'll help you for sure.
Yeah,
Right. That
I just
fucking
want
asshole.
out, in exchange of getting the fuck off this planet.
See, I would see like basically all he wants to do is barter his way off that planet.
Yeah, and absolutely, and
Oh,
just get some revenge on Ordric, because Ordric is the reason he's in
Ordric
jail.
is the reason he's there.
Oh,
yes.
he can be the little alien that gets everybody out of trouble, but dies. He has to die a noble death.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
that.
For a guy who's was probably a criminal that needed some redemption. It's a redemption story
That's
for
the.
Frank
I would like
Future.
to have him redeemed. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, because we like Tim Thomerson.
Yes.
Yes.
And we've given him a character more. If we're going to give him an actual character, we should use that character.
Yeah,
Right? I mean, because every character in this movie that so far we've given almost all of them an arc now.
yeah,
Well, yeah, because it
Versus
makes it more
no
interesting.
arcs at all.
yeah. You happy, Sean? You happy? Get off.
Quit
my
picking on
back.
Sean. Sean's a great guy.
I know we didn't cast him that one time. We're just trying to defend ourselves just constantly
Because we
against
can't
that
believe we
oversight.
fucked up that bad.
We didn't fuck up nothing. We're perfect every time.
Yeah, no, this has a lot more going on for it, and I like. There's so much more exciting.
Well, that's
things
the
that
thing
can happen.
about this movie. There's so much that didn't happen in the first one that we're like,
Yeah.
okay, we can grab a basic structure. There's the themes of robotic gaining sentience that we can really grab onto there and do a more serious cop story. But that buddy cop story, that's like this fun camaraderie, that chemistry between the actors, that's where the comedy comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. And Buzz being the new guy trying to fit into the team. And actually, you
Yeah,
have some
my
funny
casting doesn't work for Buzz at all.
Yeah.
Then.
Mine. Yeah,
Mine
mine
totally works.
doesn't. I think I
Totally
want
works
my
really well.
Buzz more
But
established.
I was already
Maybe I'll
thinking
move-
that, so
I'll move him to another character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I'd like to have some interactions with Buzz, sort of talking to Galaxina, trying to figure out the rest of the team, because she knows them better than he does, right? And you can have some fun interactions where his questions prompt her to question some things of her own, right? Is like,
Yeah. Well, why does he like that?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, it was because of this. I'm like going, really?
yeah, you could have some fun interactions there where he's a catalyst for some of the
Yeah.
change that happens.
Or Buzz like, oh, so he's like that because of that. And she's like, oh, I guess maybe he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my Buzz, my intention was he's a little bit older, more hostile and kind of reactive and instead of intelligent, but has that innocent charm about him as well.
Oh, so you cast Jane from Firefly.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. I didn't think about it, but yeah, he would be Jane.
Yeah.
My casting is kind of perfect in that regard. It isn't Jane.
It isn't Adam Baldwin, okay.
No, it isn't Adam Baldwin. But it works well.
Yeah, I can see that working. But I think that we've taken that very, 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 very loose structure and come up with some ideas to sort of make it work.
An actual
We have
story.
a plot.
We have a plot.
I have a plot. Oh, I want to go back to the Blue Star. So it's not a mystical item, I don't think.
No.
Right? It's a weapon.
power source,
It's
yeah.
a-
Oh, that's what I thought it should have been.
It's
a weapon.
it's an actual weapon, and that's why every time somebody says its name, it makes a noise because you're activating it, but they don't realize that they're
It's
activating.
Siri.
Yeah, essentially, we might as well play on it, right?
Blue Star Fire.
Yeah, yeah, right. And so they say Blue Star, so it arms, but then it doesn't get another command switch. It's down again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue Star, what's the weather?
Yeah,
Today is +4.
yeah, but
Until I destroy your planet.
yeah, but I mean that could move well into camp, but it'd be funny too. But yeah, I like the idea of it being like an actual weapon that they don't really understand.
That's what I would think, yeah.
Right. So it makes this activation noise. It could be the "Whoa," right. Or
Yeah,
could be-
why does it activate to English, though?
You know what? It's a universal language.
I would say it's been coded with just a universal translator. It just can decode.
If you say Blue Star.
Yeah.
Blue Star. Well, it's like maybe Kleenex, stuff like that, where you
Well,
go to
it's-
another place, it's still Kleenex.
I mean, Blue Star, it's a code word to activate it
Yeah.
rather than anything else. Like
Yeah.
it's an activation word.
Yeah, and it just somehow has become known as that. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like a planet buster. Like it's something that will like obliterate a planet, kind of thing.
I like the idea that it obliterates the living people on the planet, but the planet stays fine.
So I guess we're not going to have the rock eater eat it at the end.
No.
But it's got to be destroyed.
Yeah, it's got to be destroyed. But that's, at the end, that should be Galaxina. It's her movie.
That's where you get Frank Fortune's moment.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Of redemption, right? It's where
Yeah, it's going to go off regardless.
Yeah.
And maybe this whole prison planet gets destroyed.
It's going to have to, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to say the officials that are part of this planet, this whole planet's been corrupted, including the officials and the wardens that run this planet.
Yeah.
It's completely corrupt.
Well,
You could also say that he's like, you know what, this planet shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be another prison planet. The people who don't want to be here and are okay shouldn't be here. They want it done. We're just going to blow it up.
And I mean, the people who monitor the planet don't really monitor. They're like in a space station orbiting it, right? Because for obvious reasons, right? Because of the exposure to this thing, they make them inefficient at their jobs, right?
So it's not. So Erdrick's trying to get it, but after getting it, catch, release, or whatever, it's actually one of the Harley Davidson cult guys that just they want out. They want out of this life. That's the guy who activates this fucking thing. They're going to destroy this planet, and the time is limited. They're getting the fuck out of there. And Frank Fortune's the one that sacrifices them because they're all going to die if they don't. They need a distraction so they can escape from this planet, and Frank Fortune's the one that does it because he has to stay behind.
Yeah, to get our team clear of the planet.
Yeah, and the people that are trying to keep them from leaving.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got alien wardens and underbosses like Erdrick. Everybody's trying to get this thing, and the enemy is our agents on the Infinity.
If you're dealing with a lot of the corruption too, like they managed to get, like he's like, we have to blow it up now because now we've got every corrupt person on this planet right now.
Yeah, and you could amp
This
up the
has to
action by
happen.
having the
people monitoring it,
the guards and the wardens and all that stuff from coming down from the station because things have gotten out of control.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
this is everybody storming to the same spot. They're fucked,
and
no matter how badass everybody is, they are fucked.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, and they come down and the guards and stuff like that have like super armor type stuff to really protect them, right? Because they don't need. It's less about being.
Yeah, Galaxina can call over the Infinity, but they need a place to land.
Yeah,
and that's where Frank kind of comes in to clear a path for them.
Yes,
because he's learned to be a better person.
And it could also be something between him and Galaxina where she's like going, look, I'm a robot. If I die, I'm not going to feel pain. And he's like, no, I'm done. Let me have this.
Yeah, let me fuck over Erdrick one last time.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of a selfish motivation there too.
Yeah. But also be like, let me get rid of this nightmare. This is not this was the most horrifying torture they could have given any of us.
Well, if he sees something miraculous has happened with Galaxina, that'd be a shame to see destroyed as well, right? Like
absolutely.
He's kind of seen the face of God.
Because he's not a bad guy. He's just a guy who did bad things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done some bad things, but sort of like through the years, he's like he had kind of a code.
He was a bad guy, but
he was a bad guy, but he still had kind of a code about things. He's like, there's some stuff I would never do.
Yeah, he's here because he deserves to be here, and he's fine with that. But he's going to live a comfortable life as much as he can while he's here.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe you can say, you know what, I did a lot of things, but I never killed anybody. I never ordered anybody killed, right? Because he sort of has a fine line, right? I mean, even with his manipulation of the
never involved in human trafficking. I was never involved in any of that shit.
I think he should have rules of his own. I mean,
there
would make
should
sense.
Be a code. Yeah. We should be able to Frank Fortune somewhat.
Yeah, he says, I never killed anybody who didn't need killing.
Yeah. He's like, I only killed people who really did worse things than I did. Honestly, I did a job. If I was like, it would be one of those things like, if I just had your badge and credentials, I would be doing your job.
Yeah. I'm just John Wick.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into some casting here, guys. Sam, birthday boy, you
start me off.
Start
Okay,
this off, yeah.
Okay, so Galaxina. So I'm going to save my Galaxina for last. So I cast, for my Captain Cornelius, I cast Aaron Paul. After I cast him,
I considered him for different roles.
Yeah, I like the idea of him being sort of the sort of new to command acerbic kind of officer, right? And that's why I cast him. I wanted somebody who's not that experienced, but is really eager to sort of sow his oats and become recognized as being an elite captain. So that was Captain Cornelius or Captain Butter or whatever we have to call him, Butte. Yeah. For Sergeant Thor, I cast Alexander Deutsch. I can't say his last name, but he's the lead in The Last Kingdom. He's a German, French, English actor. I thought that his little bit of accent works really well with the Thor name. And he is so good at action roles and delivering these really great one-liners with just that little hint of a smile.
Nice.
So I'm like, he'd be perfect in that role. And he's gorgeous. He is a good-looking man.
Cool.
I'm starting to question your heterosexuality. Sam.
What, you know what?
You can admire somebody else. I can
easily admit when a man's good looking. It doesn't mean I want to have sex with him.
The women on my list, I'm like, they're gorgeous.
You use
they're
the word
hot.
gorgeous.
He is gorgeous. He is. Right? Look him up. You're gonna have to. You'll agree.
It's okay. I've got one of those too.
It's true. It has nothing to do with your sexuality. If you can admit somebody else is gorgeous, you just know.
I've got one of those too in
Not
my phone.
bad.
I'm sure you'll agree. So.
There we go. You feel whatever you want to feel. My buzz, I cast Tyler James Williams, who played the young Chris Rock in Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh.
He's in his mid-20s right now.
Yeah.
Right? He'd be perfect for that young guy just coming in.
He was so good in that show.
And he's great at humor.
Okay.
All right.
I loved him in that show. He was adorable.
For my Maurice, I should say, I cast Andy Biersack. He's the lead singer from Black Veil Brides, but he's also done some acting roles, and he's actually quite good. And he's sort of this long, lean, skinny guy with a ton of tattoos. I think he'd be really cool as a guy with wings.
Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. For my Sam, I can Whoa.
I think it's Whoa.
Yeah, Sam Woe. I cast Lucy Liu.
Nice.
Okay.
Right, great at physical action and just so much fun to watch.
She can
every
do
time she's on
comedy.
screen. Yeah, she can do comedy. She can do action. She can do it all. For my Ordic, I cast Mark Hamill.
Ooh.
Okay. Voice-wise, right?
Yeah, voice-wise, yeah, because it can
Yeah.
be anybody in the costume, but for voice-wise, why not? It just popped into my head. He's such a great voice actor as well as a regular actor.
I'd go with that. I just
Yeah.
realized I forgot to cast my Ordric.
Oh, no.
And then for my director, I cast Dominic Burns, who did a sci-fi action film called Airborne with Mark Hamill, which
Nice.
was kind of accidental. And then a series, the third movie in a series that I actually want to see now that I've read about it, called Jack Falls. But yeah, he does that sort of sci-fi action comedy kind of stuff. He's got quite a resume of it for writing and stuff like that. So
Nice.
Cool. And you, sorry, who's your Galaxina?
Oh, my Galaxina. I
You're
didn't
saving for last.
I saved it for last, and I completely
And
saved it for
who's
last.
the director as well?
Was Dominic Burns.
Dominic Burns.
Okay, yeah.
My Galaxina, was Jenna Cannell from our friend from Terrorizer. Or Terrifier, sorry.
Terrifier?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's so a bit more petite, but I think that she'd be fun to see her break out of that horror Scream Girl kind of role into something maybe a little more action oriented, because she can do physical. We saw that in Terrifier. She took a lot of abuse in that. So
Nice.
Trish.
Cool. All right. I'm going to bear in mind, I was casting this because I was like, okay, I might as well just go full comedy. But I did tell you, like, before we started this, I was just telling the guys, I'm like, going, there was no plot in this. And like, it was because it was a big dick ship. I actually just started with porn stars and then gave up halfway through because I was like, it should just be a porn if we're just doing that.
and then you start getting worried about your search history because you're looking up so many different porn stars.
Yeah. So then went with a regular comedy because I was like, let's just do that. So Thor, Matt Kiesler is who I cast in that. A tall, blonde guy. He was in this kind of little known, this TV show that I really like called The Middleman, where he was sort of this secret agent / Boy Scout type of deal. And then for Buzz, I went with Alana Glazer. I've been watching a lot of Broad City, and just like to be like just funny, comedic, over-sexualized, that would be her.
Okay.
For Captain Butte, Zack Galifianakis.
That's cast into type.
He can do kind of like, I think I can still keep him. He can do serious and he can do
he's
comedy.
very capable of doing
So-
serious or semi-serious. Yeah.
I leave him where he is. Maurice, Hannibal Buress,
Okay.
because like him.
Yeah.
And then you might get mad at me. My Ordric, I went with Julian McMahon because I'm like, he basically did the same thing in Doctor Doom as Doctor Doom. So that's just what he was doing.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Just he's like, just the direction will just be like, okay, remember what you did with Doctor Doom? Just do that again.
It'll work this time, we promise.
Yes. We've made a better script. Trust us, Julian. And then for
It's Galaxina. Oh, crap.
it's like, damn it. We're like, no, trust us. Sam Woe, I went with Simu Liu, and he's one of the sons in Kim's Convenience.
What a great show.
He's so good. He's also a gorgeous man. So
Okay.
that's what I like. And then Chopper, I actually cast Chopper because I was also going very comedy. Keegan-Michael Key.
Okay.
Because he can give great orations with a lot of comedy to them. And
like
then
that.
for any sort of mocap, like the alien baby, because I was like, there's more aliens. I went with Toby Kebbell because he was doing a lot of stuff for like Planet of the Apes, and I like them. And then for my Galaxina, I went with Natalie Morales. She's got a different look. I just think she's gorgeous, and I think she can handle the action, and she's also very good at comedy.
Cool.
For my director, though, I had two directors because I'm like, oh, how do I want to go? I think my second choice, which I came up with what we're doing now, would work better. Jordan Peele. But my original director, I'm like, oh yeah, somebody who can actually do comedy in space, Mel Brooks.
Oh, well.
Very on the nose, and I'm like, I need a backup.
Get him out of retirement? Yeah, he'd be perfect.
Yeah, this would be Spaceballs too then.
Yeah.
He's done it successfully.
Okay, for mine, I have got no particular order here. I'm going to start with Sam Woe's character. I went with Daniel Wu from Into the Badlands, which works really well with what we just talked about. And how badass he's gonna
Daniel was actually on my list of possibilities.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't watch Into the Badlands, he was also in the new Tomb Raider movie. For Maurice, I went with Ika Darville. He plays Malcolm on Jessica Jones.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
He's the kid that started out as heavily
neighbor,
into drugs and as a neighbor, and became a really cool character by the second season there, and being on other shows. And I think he'd be really great in that part.
Cool.
For my Captain Butte Cornelius,
Captain Corny.
an older, established, more commanding and condescending Ian McShane from American Gods.
And many, 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 many other things.
Yeah, and tons of stuff. You know Ian McShane.
Yeah. I think he can nail some of the comedy, too.
Yeah.
Like, just straight.
For my Buzz, like I said, I went a little bit older. He can do comedy and big and dumb and fun. Kevin Durant, who was most recently in The Strain.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll defer to you guys for Ordric, because nothing's immediately coming to mind. For my Sergeant Thor, I went with Ricky Whittle from American Gods as our big lead.
Oh, yeah.
Another gorgeous man.
Yeah,
very gorgeous.
See, that's what I said. Like, I have a gorgeous
You
man.
are damn right.
And for my Galaxina, I went with Samara Weaving from Mayhem and the Babysitter.
Yes.
Because she can do kind of comedy, and she's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So she can be the sex bot too. All directed by very tongue-in-cheek and can do the balanced action, fun sci-fi James Gunn.
He was also on my list, but I'm like, I go to him a lot. Him and Edgar Wright.
But I was thinking like the James Gunn from the Trauma days,
Yeah.
not the Guardians of the Galaxy. James
Yeah, because
Gunn.
I thought
the
of
guy
that
who
too.
gave me Slither.
And I'm like, Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't want this to be two Guardians of the Galaxy. It will seem too samey. So.
Yeah, no, I want that darker, more R-rated type of humor that he would have given us back in Slither and his Trauma days.
Romeo and Juliet.
Mm-hmm. So I think he'd give us that good sense of humor. So he's my writer and director.
I can see that. Yes. No, I think we've come up with something.
We're
if you
the
were to give
writers.
James Gunn our basic outline, you'd get a pretty damn good movie.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I think if we did it, we'd still do good. We're good.
We'll be on set.
Yeah.
We'll be on set.
Yeah. Well, because somebody's got to be under that makeup, or at least
no.
stop motion, or or whatever they're going to do.
I have
Blue
faith in
screen
us.
me.
We can write a great draft.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We could totally do it.
Yeah,
We just did.
Yeah,
I know.
we
That's why I'm
literally
saying.
just
Why you
did.
want somebody else writing this? We've done it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of dialogue to rewrite. Still,
I'm great at dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at dialogue.
I'm not.
You can create you can be like, does this feel emotionally real? And that'll be what you'll help us with.
Exactly.
Because I'm basically a robot.
Yes. Yeah, I'm better with a visual than
Perfect.
verbal.
There
Because
you go.
you can be looking at it as like, I don't think we're truly communicating what we need to here. Because that was part of the problem.
Yeah.
There's so much of it where it's like, I didn't catch that at all. Because it didn't make sense to me.
Oh, most of this movie doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just a bunch of images stuck together, and hopefully you can find a story in there somewhere.
It's like a
not
sketch
there.
show.
No, it really isn't.
Like here's the sketch with the alien. Here's the sketch with the cryogenic things. What was it? I had a joke, though, where I'm like going, this should be the part where Galaxina looks directly down the barrel of the camera and said, this is what the movie Passengers should have been. Don't fuck with the cryo sleeve. Leave it as is.
All right, well, Sam, happy birthday. That was your birthday movie. What the fuck were you thinking?
Already been over it.
I know.
This was not my original pick.
Honestly, I'm completely pleased with what we've done.
Me too.
No, and
this
you know
was
what?
great.
It was a hard watch, but
This was one of the hardest we've had in quite some time.
Yeah.
Thank God it's on sections on YouTube so I could stop every once in a while.
But it was definitely a fun one to redo, right? And I mean, that's ultimately what we like to do, though, right? Is find these pretty.
This
bad
was
movies.
actually good because we got to essentially kind of rewrite this whole thing, whole cloth, and we still managed to keep the general structure and some segments there.
Yeah.
And there's the general theme that was very underlying in the original. We've brought forward in a nice way.
Yes,
So
and made our title
Yeah.
character the title character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank goodness.
yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, we kept the kernels of what is consciousness, gaining consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
and then the creation of humanity, that consciousness, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and instead of just sort of brushing on it, we're actually going to embrace it.
Yeah. So if you can think of any B movies, C movies that you think you'd like us to tackle on the show, you can send your requests and your suggestions and your comments to @InvasionRemake on Twitter, Invasion of the Remake on Facebook and Instagram, and invasionoftheremake@gmail.com. If we haven't told you already, we like wild and crazy when it comes to remakes, and I think 2019 is going to bring some really weird shit this year.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we've come out of the gate with a bit of a bang on this one.
Well, we ended 2018 in a bang too.
Yes,
with
we did.
Some
Yep.
pretty off kilter kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. Sometimes the initial watch is hard, but the thinking through it afterwards is so much fun.
yeah,
It's joyful. It's sort of like, they talk about polishing a turd. I think we can actually do that now. We've made some pretty shiny turds.
I can see myself.
Exactly.
can see my face. All right. Well, how about the show? Tell your friends and family about the show and leave us a 5-star rating and a review on wherever you find us, really. But hopefully iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music. Those are great places to find and leave reviews. And you'll help out the show financially if you listen to us on Radio Public. It's available on Android and iOS for your devices, or you can just listen to it on your computer as well under Radio Public. Just find Invasion of the Remake, and with every listen we get a few cents back just because you are doing what you're already going to do, is listen to the show. But for the most part, please tell all your friends and family about the show. We're a ton of different places. Just have them seek us out. We're probably on all your favorite podcast platforms, including
Frickin' YouTube.
Frickin' YouTube. So find us every week, every Tuesday on all your favorite podcast providers, and every Thursday on YouTube. All right, well, that was Galaxina. We had a lot of fun with this. Didn't have fun watching it, but we had fun remaking it.
Yeah, thank goodness it was fairly short.
Yeah.
'Cause it felt really long.
95 minutes. It felt like it was 3 fucking hours.
Oh my, yes. It felt like, we were making that trip with them in cryo sleep for 27 years.
And that little fucking alien messed with my cryo tube, and I feel like I've aged 27 years.
Yeah.
Just
You don't look it. You don't
Thank you.
You're looking pretty good.
It's good, clean living.
Well, when you're in a cryo tube, there's not much else.
Well,
So true.
I had a 27-year-old nap. Come on.
I mean, you do look refreshed.
Yeah, I feel like I don't need to sleep for at least a week. All right, well, that was a weird way to start out the new year. I've been Jason.
I am always Sam.
And I continue to be Trish.
And we are out of here.
In
Infinity Log, Galaxy date, 1942, Lieutenant Cornelius Butt. Entry number... Where are we? What is this? Space. Entry number... this is Corny Butt. Is this Philadelphia? Hey, Buzz, you forgot the pizza. I bet you brought the anchovies. I didn't want the anchovies. That's why everybody's always picking on you. What's that music? Hey, I'm doing an entry here. Can you bring it down? Lower? Now the other way, you idiots. I like hyperspace. The colors are so pretty, and then the thud, and then the whoosh, the whoosh, the... How's the field holding out, boys? Whoa, boy. So, Fuzznuts ate the blue star. Shut up. We have to go back to Altar 1 and find more blue star. Who's there? What's going on? Who's making that noise? This is Cornelius Butt, mayor of Philadelphia. When we get back to Altar 1, I'm going to go to the beach and putt the Red Sea while the others go look for more of the rock. I didn't say it, blue star. Dummies, did you hear me? Galaxina's very pretty for a robot. Hey, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like to blow her fuse. Where are we? Come on, Sonny, let's go get a pizza.